What's up, everybody? Perfectly Techno here. We are back with another week of Bits, Crits, and Halfwits. I forgot how the intro normally goes. Anyways, let's go through and introduce our characters as we get set up and we get back into the game, and then we can roll that D100 and see who's going to give us our recap. So first, we have Elliot, played by
Isaac, vibing, getting ready for the old D&D.
And then we have Lyra, played by
Hello, I am Rosie.
And this week, lastly but not leastly, we have Newsen, played by
It's me, the Sky Tea.
So why don't you guys give me that D100 roll to see where we're at.
Okay, just
Let's
a
see.
moment.
There we go. I realized I once again did not change myself back from Squall since I have to keep changing it. Okay, D100 roll. 88. Wow.
And I
Maybe
still
for
cannot
once I
see
will
your
not have
rolls.
to give the recap.
Okay, let's see.
My
93.
room's flying.
I feel like that's
Not
good.
load for
I don't
me.
know if that's good.
I'm still waiting for your roll to load.
Who, mine?
Yeah.
Well, that's because I had hardware acceleration on, and thus
Oh no.
it's taking 35 minutes, you know?
Understandable.
Oh wait, did my roll actually show up for you?
No.
God damn it!
It's just the one.
I don't understand.
Why you keep breaking?
I don't.
Oh, ideal.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Really
a little rough.
Peak numbers there.
Elliot, go ahead and give us our recap.
Oh, cool. Last time, we were given some money by the wonderful Dream Shadows.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
right? Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Dream
I
Shadows.
can't believe I remembered that. Look, names are hard.
No, it was good. It was
Especially-
good.
We were given some good old spending money, and then we were given more spending money because we threatened to go down to the lower tiers levels of the city, which
And
is
then we went
I
anyway.
think, some peak. And of course, did some shopping. There was a little bit of like wizard bullying going on, which is my favorite kind of bullying. Mostly because I can participate.
Because you get to be the bully.
Hey, I wasn't the main bully. That was your mom.
Whoa, channeling Flam there for a second.
I was gonna say mango, but yeah, sure.
Oh,
Um,
either.
True.
Both probably.
Yeah, I think Flam stole it from Mango. Anyways, we did some shopping. Somebody bought a sword. And did we buy something at the first shop? I feel like we didn't. I think we just sold Dragon Scale.
We got health potions, a couple.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, we did. We did buy health potions.
Just in case somebody not going to name any names gets us into more trouble.
What? Wait, are you talking about me? I didn't get us into any trouble. I refuse this accusation.
I mean, who has gotten us into trouble thus far? Definitely not Elliot.
Definitely not Elliot. Elliot would never. Elliot would never buy drugs from a suspicious person on the street.
Or feed a dragon amphetamines, or all sorts of things. You know, I would never.
Okay,
Anyways, that's my recap. Take it or leave it. All right. Well, you left it. I guess we can head out.
Yeah. So, at the end of last session, you guys watched as Lulin got this hammer and then its name was like engraved on it, and now Lulin's just kind of standing there in a trance, just kind of rocking back and forth holding this hammer.
Uh-huh.
Classic Lulin.
Yeah. I would probably walk up and kind of like grasp his shoulder and be like, "Are you okay?"
When you grasp his shoulder, he kind of just like turns and looks at you, and you see that his eyes are completely fogged over. And the Loxodon walks up and goes, "The magic has a mind. He's going to need a bit to get used to it."
He's gonna be okay though, right?
Well.
Oh, he'll be absolutely fine.
All right.
How do you know that? How do you know you weren't just sold a cursed item to pass on to somebody else?
Well, because my weapon talks to me, and that's how it went for me.
All right.
But
it is extra suspect.
But you can leave him here or have your friend take him home.
Well,
Just leave him in the streets.
We're not leaving him in the streets.
I think we'll take him home.
Yeah, probably best to see if we can have Allrond take him back and then meet us back down here. Unless you two are done, in which case we can head back.
But we haven't even gone to a bar. What do you mean?
Yeah, we gotta.
Done?
I need to disappoint my
even finished
father.
the party.
I mean, Lyra brought a book. I wasn't sure how committed she was to that concept.
I don't even understand what the problem is here.
We've got to find a library bar.
A library bar.
That sounds great. We should do that.
Can we make that happen?
Please.
That's like the best of both worlds.
Right, so
you
guys begin heading down the street. You said you're looking for a library bar?
That was really more sarcasm than anything, but like,
Lyra
exists, I guess.
Lyra has her eyes peeled, but also is deferring to people who've like spent time at bars before.
Give me a perception check.
Okay, let's go.
Are we all rolling perception or just
Lyra?
Lyra specifically. She's like, I need this library bar.
That's not very good. That's an 8.
You do manage to see a bar as you're walking called the Library.
Hey, that's kind of close. Is that one good? Should we go to that one?
What's it look like?
Elrond is taking Lulin home right now. So he can't answer. But the front of the bar is very distinctively like designed to look like an open book.
Wait, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my whole life. We need to go in there.
I can't wait.
We have to. Lyra's gone. She's in there. As soon as she saw that it was book themed, she's in. You know.
Okay. PT, just so you know, I don't think my avatar has its open mouth image. I think it's just a closed mouth lighting up and turning off whenever I talk.
Well, I'll fix that when I can fix the other one too.
Okay.
This one. Because it's not letting me fix anything right now.
Oh boy.
Fine. Who needs things that are fixed?
I now speak exclusively telepathically.
Okay. So you guys, you headed into this bar?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Library.
So when you walk up to this bar, sorry, I'm trying to fix Sky's thing while I do this.
Just take a second to fix it then. It's fine. You don't have to do both.
Except I have to re-download the picture entirely.
I believe in you. Oh.
How is everyone today? That's my question.
Oh, living life.
Doing
Good.
pretty good. Can't believe it's up to me to carry the weight of cow alone.
True. That's so
Truly.
sad.
I know. It's just me and the moon right next to me on the overlay.
That's so sad. Oh my god, did Lulin turn into the moon?
My paternal figure turned into the moon.
That's rough, buddy. Oh.
So tragic, so tragic.
I know, so tragic.
I think we got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got it.
Do I have a mouth?
It doesn't look like it to me. But I might be on a delay.
Oh, right. I see it. I saw the mouth.
Oh, yeah!
I saw it. You, in fact, have a mouth now.
Huzzah!
Oh.
I mean, I guess I always had a mouth. I was just speaking telepathically for like 5 minutes.
No, not telepathically.
Right.
You're just real good at ventriloquism.
I was like, if I don't move my mouth and I throw my voice, people will think that I'm not nearby.
All right, so you walk
like
in.
Just standing out in the open.
All right, so you head inside and you are immediately not assaulted, but you're immediately aware of just old book smell.
Lyra is vibing.
And
Vibing so hard.
There are shelves all along the edges of the room, and then there's like a small reading area in the center around a 4-posted fireplace that is just funneling straight through the ceiling.
How cramped is it, and how aware am I, or like how aware do I need to be to not just absolutely wreck everything?
You've actually found that most of the lower city has a lot more room versus a lot less.
Well, I mean, sometimes library spaces are extra full, so.
True.
Lyra is so into waffles. This. Lyra's gonna go right up by that fire and like find a place to sit, grab her own book, and just chill. I assume there are like many old people here, and she's just buddying up to them.
This place is BYOB. Bring your own book.
There's actually a surprising amount of young people here.
Oh my god!
Most of them are sitting.
It is the city of nerds.
I was gonna say, Newsom just looks incredibly out of place.
Yeah, this shouldn't shock you. Hey, my waffles.
A city of nerds.
I have a question. Is there a book are other people reading? I guess.
Most of them are, or they're writing on things.
Okay, if there's one that I recognize, or is someone reading a book that like Lyra has read? I guess.
Ooh. I don't know. Actually, it's a great question.
Man's distracted by waffles.
That's a good distraction. I had waffles today too.
It's a waffle kind of Sunday.
Yeah, I made a waffle in the school's waffle iron. It was great.
A waffle?
Yeah, but they're like big. They're very big.
Okay. Yeah, but you didn't have to make 3 because you burned them?
No, look, this one has a sound alert, and I did. Well, I almost walked away, and then I did.
All right.
Thank the Lord.
Lyra, give me a intelligence roll to see how many books like these in this place you could have read.
Ooh, okay. All my tabs are gone. Just a straight intelligence?
It's just straight intelligence.
Okay. Oh, that's kind of low. Okay. 12?
You see a couple books in here that you've read a little bit, but most of the books that people seem to be reading are like books on entire subjects of subject matters.
Like textbooks. Okay. All right. Okay, interesting. Okay, then Lyra's just gonna go like find a comfy chair around this fire to get to like sit at.
Is there like an actual bar in here? Or is it more
not that you can see.
I'm finding a couch nearest to Lyra and just laying on the whole thing.
Lyra pulls out her book and reads like a paragraph, and then it's like, "Oh my gosh, Newsen, did you bring your own book?"
Newsen just looks at Lyra, and it's like, "Why would I carry books? That's so much extra weight."
Damn.
I literally
have so much value.
Like a mural.
Yeah, I carried around 100-pound mural. To be fair, Lyra asked me to do that, so
That's true. Lyra loves the arts. That's all I have to say. But
yes.
Well,
Elliot is looking around for a book on enchantment.
Lyra's gonna try to share her book with Newsen and be like, "So, this is what's happened so far."
Elliot, as you're looking around this place for a book on enchantment, you realize that most of the books in here are about what you would consider hard sciences. So actual science.
Yeah. Acceptable.
So, what kind of book are you reading, Lyra?
Okay. Oh God. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, I've got it. So, you see, originally there was this story about this, just this like band of found family. But the thing is that the original author left so many holes in the story. So this one is something that someone wrote to try to like fix it, So
So what you're saying is the person who wrote this was a fan of the fiction that they read, and so they wrote their own.
D&D's over.
Yeah, exactly. And I just love it so much. It's so wonderful to read the same story but a little bit different and a little better,
I see, yes.
As you guys are talking, a turtle like hobbles his way up to you both. And he looks at Newsen and he goes, "I think I have a book that you would prefer more than that." And he just holds out a small, thin book.
Newsen takes it.
It's a drink menu.
See, now this man gets me.
Oh, what is it?
The drink menu.
Oh, okay. Does it have a plot?
Does it?
Does it have a plot?
But does it, though?
The turtle turns and looks at Lyra and goes, "It has a very light plot that gets very hazy towards the ending."
Oh, I see. Sometimes that I feel like lends itself to the story, but only if, it serves a real artistic purpose. Otherwise, you're just confused,
Yes, yes. And then he's gonna look at Newsom and go, if you need to know, the last couple chapters on that list really get to the point.
That sounds ideal. Getting to the point is what I like to hear.
Of course, of course. What can I get you?
Well,
I'll take your. Menu, so, it's a full drink menu, so whatever you want.
Whatever's the biggest.
He kind of nods and just turns around and hobbles away, leaving
Wait,
you.
Did you want anything, Lyra or Elliot?
Sure. I don't really know
in
what
the
I
vicinity.
Did, though. Yeah. Do you want to order something for me? Whatever you think is the best on the menu.
Newsom kind of does like a look up and down thing, and then looks at the turtle and is like, probably some kind of light mixed drink.
Just roasting Lyra.
He looks at Lyra and goes, "I'll be sure to cut her orange juice."
Thank you.
Oh my god. Lyra's just having the time of her life. Like, she's engrossed in her fanfiction.
He comes back with a big flagon of something for you, Newsom. And he sets down a glass full of orange juice next to Lyra.
She takes a sip and says, this is kind of strong.
Which is really funny considering it's literally orange juice that has been cut with water.
Ideal, really.
Newsom's taken a big swig of hers.
This is an ale that, to the best of your knowledge, only existed in Oldfast.
Interesting. Is the turtle kind of hanging out, or did he just deliver the drinks and
No, he's
leave?
hanging out. He's around.
Okay. Then she'd kind of look over to him and be like, how did you come across this particular ale?
He kind of looks at you and taps the side of his head and goes, I was there when they made it the first time.
Barely know how to respond to that. Newsom is shocked.
Lyra will look up and say, like, oh, wow, how long ago was that?
What race are you?
I'm a human.
30 lifetimes.
Wow. Wait, so what's... Oh my gosh, wait.
It's been a quick minute.
There's so many historical events I can ask you about. It's overwhelming.
I'm sure it is. Take that overwhelmed feeling and just channel it back inside because I don't want to answer them.
Lyra just goes, okay. Have you written a book?
Written a lot of books.
What's your name? I'm gonna look you up at the library next time I'm there.
Von Begovich.
In a library.
I am the great archaeologist Von Begovich.
Von Begovich.
Oh, amazing. It's wonderful to meet you. I'll check out some of your books and read them.
Yes, of course. Anyways.
Lyra's writing this down in her spell book.
You want to know how to spell it?
Yeah.
VONBEGOVIC.
Nice. Okay.
Do you see?
Do I see? No, is it a pun? Wait, spell it again?
It's not a pun.
Okay.
I don't even want to get into that this morning. Get down.
Well, Isaac was like, "Do you see?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't really see a pun, but maybe there's a pun."
Maybe there
Anyways,
is a pun.
What is your problem, puppy? You're being very aggressive.
Well, naturally.
Anyways, yeah, he tells you he's the great archaeologist von Begovich.
Nice.
Do you guys see this?
The woman harassing you?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
You see? Ah!
She is grabbing the arm from the top so that you cannot escape.
She's trying to bite my hand.
Yes,
Stay down
exactly. Puppy love.
She says,
Puppy
I want a
love.
toy. And I will harass you until I get a toy.
I'm a body armor
As most
model.
dogs do.
Aha, distracted.
You got, dog.
Alright. But what are the rest of you doing? Lyra's reading like a nerd.
Yeah.
What is Newsom doing?
Sipping on the drink, kind of bewildered that she's able to get. This is now congratulations, Lyra. The library is now Newsom's favorite place in the town because she can actually get Minotaur ale here. But probably just looking around and kind of looking at all the nerds in here, seeing if anyone, I don't know, what everyone's up to. This is the most unrowdy bar she's ever been in, so...
So, you'd think that, right?
Uh-huh.
But I never described this bar as having a quiet atmosphere.
Ah!
There are people talking about books, or talking about inventions, or just plain arguing all over this bar.
People come here to get drunk and debate intellectually.
Yes.
Oh no, wait, this is actually the worst place I've ever been, isn't it?
You thought it was peaceful. It wasn't.
You thought this was a stairway to heaven? No.
Okay, shush.
Highway to hell. But yeah, so you head down there. Wait. How the fuck did I say that? Nobody has to go down anywhere.
Nope,
What are you talking about? What?
Did my brain
me?
just like did my brain just like factory default reset D&D?
I think so.
Whew, it is a
Man,
day,
you didn't
y'all.
need waffles, you needed coffee.
I mean, both is fine as well.
I needed a well-regulated sleep schedule like 5 years ago.
Well, yeah, that too.
Nah.
Anyways,
It's
yeah.
fine.
So you guys are sitting in this bar when Allrond just shows up, walks over, sits down, and goes, "I knew you'd be here."
Oh, good. Hey, do you want to hear about this book that I'm reading? It's actually very good. I'm almost halfway through it now.
I told you I'd never lie to you, Lyra. I do not.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Goes back to reading.
Always the best strategy.
He's gonna turn and hold a hand out to you, Newsom, to go, "I will look at that book, though."
Newsom hands over the menu book. It's my favorite one in here for sure.
You should see the one. You should see the one up on the top shelf. It has 3D pop-ups. He just flips another page on the menu. He just keeps looking at drinks. This man has made himself at home, by the way. Like, he walked in, sat down, and just kicked his feet up on the table.
Amazing.
I mean, to be fair, I laid down on an entire couch, so...
True.
I was like, this is all mine now. So I had to sit back up to have the fan fiction explained to me.
That was Lyra was very delighted when you let her explain her fan fiction to you. Actually,
oh, of course, of
very
course.
happy. Yeah.
Elrond kind of looks at you all and goes, "So, how long are we gonna be here before we go to a real bar?"
Well,
Elliot is looking for a good chemistry book, so a quick.
And
nap.
Give me an intelligence
and
roll.
I'm 3/4 of the way through my book, so I guess we could. I mean, I'll probably be done in like 15 minutes. So yeah.
Oh, today is a bad day for rolls.
You find a book called Chemical Transmutation for Dummies.
Ideal. This is what I need. What are the chances?
Newson orders two more Minotaur ales.
The turtle's gonna bring them back out to you, and he's gonna hand you your 2 Minotaur ales. And then he's just going to take, like, essentially a Moscow Mule and just hand it to Elrond, who just nods at him and starts drinking it.
So, do they know you here, or are you just the kind of person that gives off the essence of what you want without ordering it?
Oh no, I'm known in every bar in the Undercity.
Interesting. Just spend a lot of time here in your free time? Do you do freelance work for people?
Not so much freelance work as freelance ass whoopings.
I see. Breaking up fights.
Sure.
Yes,
or causing
absolutely.
them.
I guess you can break up a fight by just not fighting anymore.
You break up a fight because they are unconscious.
Anyways.
Technically, that is a form of breaking up a fight.
Anyways, I get recognized a lot because I made quite a bit of money in my younger years before I became a professional guard like Dad. And all I was doing was fighting in a pit.
There's, like here in the city?
Oh yeah, at a bar down the street.
Oh, now that I'm interested in.
Yeah, let's go look at it. I think I finished my book. That sounds fun.
Lyra, like we're having a conversation and Lyra's like speed reading.
And what about
puts that one away, pulls out 3 more issues.
And what about you, Elliot?
Elliot's just along for the ride. He'll put down chemistry for dummies whenever people want to leave.
Right. So Elrond finishes his drink and like ushers you all up. I imagine he kind of has to like push Lyra to be like, "Let's go, let's go."
Oh, okay.
And then he just turns and looks at Elliot and kind of gives you like the nod, like we're heading out.
All right, let's go.
As he takes you guys down the street, you just hear this like rising commotion coming from down the street from you. And as you turn the corner, you see that there's just this very large 3-story building. Lights all around it, people all around it, and you guys hear cheering coming from the inside. And on the front of this is a sign that just says, "The Beaten and Battered."
Wow.
Now this has the vibe.
Yeah, just puts her book in her pocket. It's like, all right, let's go.
Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you, Lyra.
Yeah.
Nusa kind of like puts a hand on her shoulder and like keeps her kind of close and walks up. Like, we can't hide her in between minotaurs now, so you know.
Oh, true.
Just directly adjacent.
Yeah.
I guess you could technically hide her on a minotaur's shoulders.
I just carry you. If you're up above people's heads, then no one will see you.
They never look up.
Elliot, have you ever been in a bar like this before?
Probably. When Elliot would sneak out as a child, or not as a child, but as a young adult.
Okay. So for Elliot and Newson, there's a lot. This is a very active bar. For Lyra, as you look off and you just see, like literally 10 feet away, some guy just getting beat up and the people around him taking bets. This is not a kind of bar you have ever been in before.
Is he okay? Should we help him?
Elrond just kind of pushes past you through the door and goes, he'll be fine. Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
And if he's not, he's probably getting paid well to not be fine. Paid well to not be fine. There we go.
Elrond looks back at you and goes, oh no, that was in the parking lot. He's not getting paid for anything. He's just getting his ass beat.
Ah. Well. She just shrugs.
As you
moves like Lyra ahead of her and in.
As you guys step inside, you see that the inside of this building is actually entirely open. It's a ground floor, and then there are 3 floors of balconies above it, all over a pit that is just in the ground.
I see this place comes by its name honestly. Is there anyone in the pit, or is it just like empty?
Right now there are 2 humans in the pit, and they are doing their damned best to fight off a rust monster.
A rust monster?
Ooh. Has any of us ever seen one or no?
You would know, Lyra, that rust monsters are pests that are around the factory district.
Okay. Oh, look at that! They've caught one.
Fun.
She's gonna start taking notes as to what it's doing.
Just recording the fighting style of the rust monster.
She's just like interested. She's like, that's kind of cool.
Mostly what this rust monster is doing right now is running away.
Oh, that's sad. Lyra feels bad for the rust monster.
Honestly, it seems like they're not very good at putting that thing down. They're kind of extending the fight too much. Or perhaps they're just not capable of catching it.
They don't have weapons.
They're just trying to beat it to death? I mean,
yes.
I have no idea. Newson has no clue what a rust monster is, so, like...
They used to have weapons.
Oh, let me pull up what a rust monster is for you, so I can also...
I highly doubt I've ever encountered a rust monster in canon.
I would kind of actually be amazed if you'd never encountered one. Oh, in canon.
Oh, really?
Hang on. It's been a day, y'all. It's just getting started. It's a hard hat holiday. Respectfully. Where am I putting this? Putting this in here. Let me get this pulled up on your guys' screen. Get down. Get down.
Get down. Get down.
No, don't encourage her. She doesn't need encouraged. I need this to work, though. Oh my god. Ow. Whap. Slight bap on your nose. Just to show you it's not nice to bite people. Guys, she really doesn't want me to show you the rust monster.
She does not.
That boy is a rust monster.
That's a nasty boy.
Yeah, they like to eat metal. That's why they're
So,
pests.
It's a little.
I feel like did they used to have weapons is relevant.
No, it doesn't look like they used to have weapons of any kind either. Hey! Stop it! I'm gonna deal with this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, you guys
just look at the nasty
discuss.
boy.
Yeah.
Come here. Hey, come here. Camel.
Alright, guys, let's start betting on these fights.
It was just like this. It seems a little cruel to the poor rust monster guy.
Well, I mean, it seems like from what you all have said that like these things are being gotten rid of all over the city. It's kind of an issue. So, like I said, I think it's more just that they're not doing it efficiently.
I know the lack of efficiency really bothers me too, but
Lyra's like, it's just a creature, though. Like, come on. What?
Lyra, we literally just killed a dragon for being an asshole.
Yeah, but he was trying to kill it. That was self-defense, sort of.
what about the
I'm
slime
sure-
boy?
We didn't kill him.
We might.
No, we didn't.
No, yeah, I don't think we did. I don't think we did.
I think I punched him, and then you like made space for you guys, and everyone else just left, and then I left.
Yeah, okay.
That is accurate. That is, in fact, how that went down. Yeah, so as you guys are in there, Allrond hearing you talking about how it's just an animal, Lyra, turns and goes, "You know that those things eat metals, right? One of them brought down an airship 2 weeks ago and killed 4 people."
Yeah, that's not great. That's not great. But aren't we encroaching on their natural habitat? I don't know what is their natural habitat?
Well, their natural habitat was wherever they came from, but we have no idea where that is. So, well, I don't.
So they are an invasive species, aren't they?
I don't know. They're the things that you beat with a stick when you see them coming near your sword.
Is this why you have to keep buying swords, Alrond?
Maybe.
You seem to have practical experience with with that specific scenario.
Perhaps. Anyways, which one of you is gonna fight?
I mean, I will.
Perfect.
Is there organization to this, or you just hop in and wait for someone to fight you?
There's an organization. Where's the? We gotta find the bar owner.
I'm betting on the rust monster.
Then you're gonna want to go talk to a bookie.
Lyra's gonna sort of
first of all
poke news in, and it's like, you want me to help? We could tag team.
Definitely voting for the rust monster now.
Just carrying Lyra around the arena. Depends on if they allow magic or not.
Oh yeah, that's true. I would not want to fight without magic. That would not go well. I don't think.
What, you're not gonna punch it, Lyra? Come on.
I don't want to punch it. That's so that it's kind of bug-like, isn't it?
It is bug-like, I would say. Kind of got a bit of a like crab, grub, nasty boy vibe, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you've won when it starts crunching when you hit it.
Exactly.
Oh, I don't want to touch that. No.
Kind of a crunch squish noise.
No, see, this is not good. I don't think.
All right, well, I guess I'll walk up to the bar and order, another drink, house ale, whatever.
Lyra's just gonna have what she's having.
Oh my god.
They are going to bring you just an absolute slosh of a mead. Like, this is like the fucking leftovers drink at the end of the night.
Gross.
They're gonna give the same thing to Lyra.
Lyra's just gonna take a sip.
Lyra, roll me Constitution as soon as you take a sip.
Okay. Constitution. 12.
You feel queasy.
I'm gonna say thumbs up, and then not drink any more of this.
All right, Elliot, what are you doing?
Oh,
sorry.
Nope. I was just gonna inquire
for a bookie.
I'm not even on the list yet.
There is a man like selling and buying like betting slips by the side of the arena.
Ideal. I'll go ask him what odds he'll give me on the big horse. Cow.
I can't believe you called News a horse.
A big horse. Just a big horse.
He looks. The bookie looks at you and goes, "You want to bet on the Minotaur?"
What odds will you give me? Either way.
Well, shit. The Minotaur's won every fight he's done for the last 3 months.
I look over. Wait.
Elliot brain AOL dial-up noise.
I'll get back to you.
I'll get back to you.
The bookie's just gonna go, yeah. Anyways. And then he's just gonna go back to taking other people's bets.
Elliot's gonna walk back over to the news. Have you been fighting here?
What? No, this is my first time in Stipvale.
Never mind, I must have been confused.
All right then. Anyway, how do I get onto the list for the pit? Asking the bartender, I suppose.
The bartender's gonna look at you and go, "Easy," and he's gonna point to like literally a chalkboard.
Ideal.
With just a bunch of random spaces that are covered up by like placards, and he goes, "Just go write your name in next to one of the spaces."
All right. So she walks over, and we'll just go for like.
So it looks like the way this is laid out. It looks like the higher up fights are like just opening fights, just people fighting. And the lower down the list you get, the more it gets into like prize fighting. So like your casual
the prizes like
so some of them are in the couple hundreds of gold.
Oh, okay.
The one at the very bottom has a 2,500 gold payout.
God damn.
Easy, just do the fisticuffs, you'll do great.
With a prize like 2,500, I may be tough, but I'm not that stupid.
Auron kind of looks over at you and goes, "I'll sign up for it."
It's individuals, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She hands the chalk to him and says, I'd love to see it. In a genuine way, not in a sarcastic way. Like,
Allrond takes the chalk and very drunkenly scribbles his name on the bottom row, and then hands it back to you and goes, I don't know whether to tell you to bet for me or not.
Are you gonna be okay?
He kind of shakes his head, and just suddenly appears much sober and goes much more sober and goes, yeah, I'll be fine.
Okay, I believe you.
Anyways, I've been dying to get a shot at the champ for weeks.
Newson will put her name down. Probably. Probably like a middle tier one, several hundred gold, something in that range.
Okay. So there's a couple for like 300 gold.
Yeah, one of those. I mean, I suppose if I win one and I want to do another, I can, so...
True, I guess you could just go back to back on them. But so there's a listed time for when fights start.
Mm-hmm.
And as you go through it, the fights begin, and it begins to move down the list until eventually, Newson, you find yourself in the arena, and standing across from you is probably one of the biggest Goliath you've ever seen.
Oh boy. I assume this is like no weapons, like hand to hand.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's just gonna be, I mean, I was just gonna do contested strength checks, see how the fight's going, because I feel like that'll be faster than like going into combat and rolling initiative and yada yada yada.
That's fair. Am I allowed to use rage or not?
Well, they never expressly forbid it, so.
Wow.
Get angry.
Fun.
Get fucking angry.
When the fight is about to start, Elliot's gonna go back to the bookie.
Alright, what do you want?
So what odds were you thinking for this match? You know, the Goliath and the Minotaur.
I'll give you 2-1 the Minotaur rolls him.
Interesting. In favor of the Minotaur?
In favor of the Minotaur.
Cool. Minimum bet?
50 gold.
Yeah, I'll take 50 gold on the Minotaur.
Okay. And he hands it back to you. In the center, the kind of like, so there's been this fire that's been burning in the center that like you've watched people just walk through, so it's obviously an illusion. But before every fight, it changes colors, and the second it changes colors to the go signal, this Goliath is just gonna charge at you, Newson.
Okay.
And give me that contested strength check. You can rage if you want to.
I'm gonna not rage the first time and just see. So just rolling regular strength.
Okay. Remember, I still can't see your rolls.
Never feed him after midnight.
Hey! Calculator! Wait. Thanks for following.
I got a 6.
You got a 6. Oh, wow. So you kind of try and brace yourself as this Goliath runs towards you. And he just wraps his arms around your waist and just lifts you up into the air. And then slams you back down.
Now I'm pissed.
I can imagine. All right. So, yeah, so are you trying to like break the hold, or are you just trying to like bash his face in?
I mean, his face is right there, so like
very bashable. Very bashable.
Yeah, very bashable. He came into range of me.
True.
But the other thing is that with my new wild magic barbarian thing, when I rage, I have to roll on the wild magic table.
This is so exciting.
Oh boy.
I roll a d8, and then depending on the number, it determines what wild magic effect I have.
Okay. What are
And
the
it's
options?
not like. Do you want me to read them all?
No, I'm just.
Only 8.
None of them are like. Let's see. A lot of. I mean.
I found it. I found the list.
Okay. Okay. I was gonna say it's just in Barbarian under D&D Beyond. So. Okay. So.
All right. Roll
Let
me
me roll
that
that.
D8.
Okay. Where's the D8? Roll. 7. So, flowers and vines temporarily grow around you until your rage ends. The ground within 15 feet of you is difficult terrain for your enemies.
Interesting. So, as Lyra and Elliot, as you watch, this guy picks Nugent up and slams her down into the ground. And then, almost as she makes impact, vines just shoot out and fill a 15-foot circle around her.
Did you see that? Did you see that?
Yeah, I see it. How could I miss it?
No. Did you know she could do that?
No.
So am I just rolling unarmed strike then?
Yep. I think you can actually technically roll athletics for grappling.
Let's see. God, why am I rolling so bad today? That was a nat 1.
Okay,
Oof.
but you got
Wish I was-
advantage because you're raging.
Oh, yes, I'm raging.
Oh,
thank
thank
God. See, this is why we did it. And that is a 13, so 16 total.
Okay.
I surprised myself with the vines.
Yeah,
but I
so-
recover.
You surprise yourself with the vines, and you're getting ready, and this Goliath recovers from what happened before you did, grabs one of the vines, and wraps it around your neck.
Bruh. With a 16?
He rolled an 18.
Oh, Jesus.
Reggie. I'm
Okay.
gonna lose 50 gold.
If my rolls would be better.
You kind of... yeah, what are you, Well, let's just go for the next... We'll go for the next roll, and then based on the rolls, we can describe who does what.
Okay. So, strength or athletics again?
Athletics, yep.
Okay. Doesn't really matter, they're the same, but... Okay. 14.
After advantage?
Oh, nope. God, I keep forgetting about advantage. Hold on. That's better. 19 for 22.
Alright. You're now back in control of this fight. What do you do? You've still got this vine wrapped around your neck.
I probably grab the vine and then, kick my feet up and push him off. Kick out to get a little bit of distance from him.
So, Elliot, as you're watching this fight, and you're thinking, damn, I'm about to be 50 gold poorer, you see this Goliath kind of reel back, and then he just catches a hoof to the chin.
Oh, thank God. And also, the cow people are doing better. But my gold!
I need cash!
I need cold
Magical
hard.
items are expensive, my guy!
Oh, for sure.
What'd you roll for your next one, Sky?
Doing strength again now.
Yep.
I mean, I guess it doesn't either way. It's the same either way. Alright, that's 1. And oh, that's a spicy nat 20!
Yeah, how do you want to
So 23 total.
How do you want to put this guy out?
Grab, use the vine that he, pull it off my neck and kind of, whip it under the feet, and then do like a pile driver to end it.
Okay. So you guys watch this happen from the sidelines. Just this shock. This entire shift in the fight, and just like that, it's over. And Newson is standing there alone, conscious.
Let's go,
Yay,
Newson! Let's go, Newson! I'm gonna try to start a chant. Newson! Newson!
And as like the rage fades, the vines just kind of like also fade. I guess they'd like retract. I don't know.
Nope, they just stay there.
Oh, dude.
Lyra wants to get a sample of that.
Flowers and vines temporarily grow around you until your rage ends. So once the rage fades, the vines are gone as well.
I was gonna go into how they like withered and turned to dust, but you didn't let me finish.
Oh,
what I was
I'm
saying.
sorry.
No detail for you.
All right. Never a single detail.
Anyways, there's a couple more fights that go on, and then a couple rounds before his fight, Elrond goes, "All right, I gotta go get ready."
Okay.
Checks out.
Good luck. Not that I think you'll need it.
Elrond just kind of chuckles and walks off.
Elliot's gonna turn in his bet slip for 100 gold. Woot woot.
Nice.
No, it was in favor of Newson. Wait, yeah.
It was in favor of Newson?
Yeah, it was in favor of Newson.
They really didn't have much faith in that guy.
They said the Goliath would roll Newson.
No. He said that she rolls him.
Okay, I misunderstood. I collect my
Your 25 gold. Yep. Your 25 gold return on investment. Tragic.
25 more gold than I had before.
Yeah.
True.
Well, I still won the 300 gold pot, so.
True.
325 gold our team didn't have before.
I'm 300 gold closer to that 47,000 gold axe.
Anyways, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna follow the. Oh shoot! What is his name?
Elrond?
Yeah, Elrond. Thank you.
You're welcome.
1 second. Doctor requested puppy.
Oh, you gotta release her.
You are being released.
I guess that means that Goliath was all bravado.
You are being released because the people wish to see you.
She's free.
Say hello, people.
Hello, people.
Aww.
Say hello to all the people. Look at the camera. Look at it. It's adorable.
Oh.
You said you're following Elrond?
Yes.
Okay.
Just curious as to how he's preparing. I have a sneaking suspicion.
So you watch him walk into the back. And it's almost kind of like a locker room, but it's more just like stalls made with sheets. And he walks into one and sits down and pulls something out of his pocket. And it looks like a vial of shimmering liquid. Are you approaching him?
Oh, well, I mean, I assume I can see the vial and...
Yeah.
Performance enhancing drugs.
Yeah.
Drugs.
Definitely that.
Elliot's becoming a connoisseur of drugs.
I'll go up and ask him where his supply is.
He looks at you and he goes, "Might have a different effect on you than it has on me."
Oh, for sure. But who's your supplier?
You really in need of something that bad?
No, I'm just curious.
In
case, I do need it someday.
Just to be clear, what do you think is in the bottle?
Me?
Yes.
Moonlight.
Okay.
Moon.
Okay. Cool. So we're on the same page.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He looks at you and he goes, "It's a family recipe."
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. And then I'll head back out.
Anyway.
Or unless he was gonna start talking.
He looks at you, he goes, "This recipe would kill you."
Damn.
Bummer. Really is a bummer, I sure love not being dead.
Well, unfortunately, you're not a full lycanthrope.
Yeah, well.
You're just a cursed one.
Such is life. And Elliot will head out.
Yeah, as you head out, he takes it. And when he takes it, his eyes just glow that like wolf yellow. He almost seems to get bigger, Elliot.
As suspected.
Yeah. So you guys are watching from the side of the arena as Elrond comes out to his introductions and titles. And then the announcer says, "And now, fresh from the war in the north, from the pits of hell themselves, Elnis!" And you watch just this massive minotaur come out from the other side. Newson, you've actually heard stories about this guy.
Yeah, the name is immediately recognizable to me. And Newson is like shocked and also like seems kind of like almost disbelieving because the history around Elnis is sort of a like, does he exist? Doesn't he exist? No one is really clear.
I'm gonna go over to the bookie and ask if he'll give me 10-1 odds.
Because
that Minotaur hasn't lost.
So you want to bet against your buddy?
No, I'm betting for my buddy because I could make 500 gold or lose 50 if I vote for the underdog, right?
Fair enough. I'll give you 5-1 odds.
All right, fine. I accept these odds. I'll give him the 50 coin.
What about the rest of
you? Anybody else want to take a bet?
Lyra just kind of looks like a deer in the headlights.
You can make 10 coin for every 50 coin if you vote if you bet on the Minotaur. If you
I don't even think I brought 50 with me.
I'm like, you are such a noob. You didn't bring that much gold to the bar fight? What a loser. But you lose.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize there was so much money involved.
Classic wealth blindness.
In the center, you see Elrond walk up to his side, and he does something that you wouldn't expect. First off, he bows to Elnis.
Down.
What?
Sorry.
And the second thing he does is, and Newson, this would be particularly noticeable to you, the stance that he gets in to fight is not your standard, like, it's not your standard, like, I'm a street brawler. It's something that has much more technique behind it. Elvis just roars, and for like a half second, to you guys, it looks like his face contorts, like there's something else underneath it.
Interesting. I'm gonna keep a close eye on that. I want to look for cheating during this year fight.
So you can get your money?
Yeah. Also, are you gonna make a bet, Sky?
No.
Okay.
I don't think that Newsom would be able to choose a side to take. Oh god, I don't know.
That's fair.
Also, she's just not very ambitious with money. Like, the straightforward earning of, like, fighting someone and getting the cash would be, like, the farthest she would think about it, honestly. But I mean, Lyra, if you want to make a bet, I'll give you the money.
I don't know. Should we? Do you think I should?
If you
I
want
always
to.
find it fun. Make a
It's
bet,
important
Lyra. Come
for
on.
intellectuals like yourself to have the full experience. And Newsom just like puts 50 in her hand.
Okay. And she'll bet on Allrod too.
All right.
But yeah, I don't think Newsom could bring herself to bet against Elnis if it's really Elnis.
That being said, you could bet for Elnis. Make yourself a cool 10 coins.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Yeah, but then she would be betting against a friend, which is also not a thing that she would do. Which is why it's like brain overload and just fizzle out and die.
Brain no worky.
Yeah.
So you watch as the fire in the center ticks down its colors and then eventually fades out and the fight starts. The very first thing that happens is Elnis just charges across this arena. And as you're watching this, Elrond is quite literally just standing there. And it's not until Elnis is like right in front of him that, looking back on it, you realize that Elrond is just suddenly on the other side of Elnis, and none of you saw him move.
Do I think there's like magic going on? And if so,
it could look like it was magic, but you know what magic looks like, and this wasn't it. Newsom, you would realize that it's not magic at all. This man is just that fast.
I just see just enough of his feet move to be like, holy shit.
And then as he comes up behind Elnis, and Elnis is still mid-charge towards the wall, you just watch as he takes both fists and just drives them into the small of Elnis's back to make sure he can't stop. And you guys watch as Elnis slams into this wall.
Ooh, that looked like it kind of hurt.
What the horns are for, she'll be fine.
Elnis doesn't have horns.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
in that case, that's gonna hurt.
That's gonna be uncomfortable. Yes, puppy, hello.
Yeah, that probably would have been an important detail to me.
Yeah,
I'm the only one that knows that.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
But so you watch as this fight continues, and Elrond looks up at you all and goes, "I hope you placed your bets on me," and turns around just as Elnis does a full spin and just backhands Elrond across the arena.
Oh my god.
Oof.
Yeah, well. Don't worry, we did.
Don't worry, we did.
You guys watch as Elrond slams into this wall. And when he comes down, there is a visible, crater in the wall where his back hit it.
Ooh.
And he stands up and looks across, and you... She just randomly started chasing her tail.
That's cute.
She saw it, and it needed to be caught.
I watched her, notice it.
Yeah.
And then go for it.
She was like, what the hell is that?
But...
Distraction.
Yeah, so you watch as Elrond, he stands up and kind of wipes his nose and just realizes there's blood on his hand. And then his eyes become visibly yellow to everyone. Any thoughts on this, any of you?
What? Well, I mean, how far away are we?
His eyes.
What is the depth? No, what is the depth?
Oh, you guys are probably 30 feet away from him, and even you, like his eyes are almost like producing light yellow.
Oh, got it. I wasn't. Wait, is that? I thought magic wasn't allowed.
Does Lyra have any idea what this
wild magic during her fight?
Right?
Yeah. Well, like, I guess, does Lyra have any, like, would Lyra have any context for this at all, or no?
Unlikely.
Okay.
Elliot's gonna say, I've heard legends of mages editing genes of creatures and people. Maybe that has something to do with it.
When you say that, Elliot, you just detect ever so slightly that he has just turned to look directly at you from the ring.
To be fair, I wasn't talking about lycanthropy. I was making a low-key reference to The Witcher.
Yeah.
which is like low-key implied given the monsters you're using that is canon. Low-key.
Say Loki one more time.
Loki.
Thor's brother.
So you watch as Elnis just starts to charge at him again. But this time Elrond runs to meet him. And at the last second, because Elnis was what, Sky, like 10 or 11 feet tall?
Yeah.
Like, Elnis was a big old boy. You watch in one jump as Elrond clears that distance.
Over the top of the man?
No, just brings his knee directly up into Elnis's jaw.
Oh my god.
And then you watch as Elnis's head snaps back, and Elrond quite literally, with his knee to the bottom of his jaw, rides it to the ground like it's a wave. And it's just sitting there on top of Elnis's chest, and Elnis is just unconscious beneath him.
Jesus Christ.
Lyra's just gonna start clapping.
Lyra, you are the only one in the room clapping.
Oh.
Everybody else is silent. Like, the conversation in the bar has stopped.
Quickly collect our bet and get out of here.
Yeah, congratulations, you guys. 5-1 odds.
Oh, hey! We just made so much money.
The announcer walks out, and Elrond just kind of walks over to him and whispers something. And the announcer whispers it back, and he turns around and goes, "Drinks are on me!" And then everything just, like, it's like whatever silent tension there was is just gone. And that's when the cheering starts, and now Lyra's not out of place. Elrond goes back into the dressing room, or like the locker room, and when he comes back out to see you guys with whatever drink of choice he wanted, he is back to wearing his armor. And he sits down and kind of like cracks his neck and goes, "I haven't had a fight that good in a while."
Well, it was definitely fun to watch.
Gosh, yeah, for a second I thought you were in trouble there. Did you do some kind of magic?
Oh, no, I'm not magic.
Huh.
Your eyes were kind of glowing.
It's an effect it's something that happens with the illusion effects they use for the timers in the arena sometimes. It's nothing big.
Using my knowledge of magic, do I think that this is bullshit or not?
Roll insight.
Yeah. Sorry.
Can I, like,
16.
Instead of assist, try to like intervene and be like, yeah, because if you think about it, the light refraction through the fire could have an effect on basically any color in the arena.
Can I roll to not get distracted by this conversation? I don't know what I would roll to not get distracted.
I need a focus check.
Yeah, no, you know what? Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Contested intelligence roll.
Ooh, actually, yeah. Contested intelligence to see who can sight.
Contested intelligence. Let's see.
You're gonna see he's rolling for the.
Oh wait, no, that's a.
Elliot, you're rolling for the effectiveness of your technobabble, and Lyra, you're rolling to see if you can see through his techno bullshit.
Yeah, I got 13.
Oh,
I know. I've been rolling. I haven't rolled bigger than a 6 this whole time.
You start to think about what he said, and you begin to draw a conclusion on it when you're just distracted by everything that Elliot is saying.
Yeah. And then I'm like, wait, that doesn't sound right. What about that?
Has anyone gone and like helped Elnis? Is he just laid out in the pit?
People got him up.
Okay.
He got shuffled back.
Well, I'm taking advantage of these free drinks after I get my 250 coin.
Yes.
Yeah. Lyra's gonna just
we
hand
all made
the
about
coin.
300 gold today.
Lyra's just gonna hand the coin back to you. And she's like, this was yours originally. I don't know. Thanks for letting me place the bet.
Did you enjoy the experience? Do you feel enriched?
Maybe a little bit.
All right. On that note, quickly, I have a puppy that very badly wants to go outside, so we're gonna cut to intermission real quick.
Okay.
We will see you guys after the break. All right. So Elliot and Lyra, you're techno babbling.
Yeah.
Newton, what are you doing?
I am following the people that took Elnis because I want to talk to him.
Okay.
I will also grab a drink, like take one with me and then take one for him.
Take one down, pass it around.
All right. So you get to where they take him, and they take him into a room.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go inside, they're just smelling saltsing him to wake him up.
Oh, got it. They didn't wake him up. They carried him away limp. Are you sure about that one? That man's probably like almost like 11 feet tall, probably like nearing 1,000 pounds.
There were 8 dudes who carried him off.
Okay, got it.
It was not a small entourage. It was like...
And a small army.
Like, these men were on standby strictly for illness carrying.
Oh my god. Considering he's never lost, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, they were desperately hoping it was going to stay that way. None of them particularly wanted to try carrying him. Okay. Yeah, so when you walk in, they kind of look at you surprised because another Minotaur.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually they clear out of the room and Elnis kind of naturally wakes up.
I, like, set the flagon down near to him. And I'm just like, I hope I'm not intruding. I'm just very surprised to see another Minotaur in Stipvale.
He just takes the flagon and downs it and goes, "Imagine my surprise. What exactly are you doing here?"
Well, I don't know how out of the loop you are, but the Minotaur army kind of all got turned to stone.
I heard.
So I'm sort of out here seeking the power to help.
Well, you know, every young Minotaur goes through that.
This is going to sound odd. Are you... They said your name was Elness.
It is.
It's... I thought... I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't sure you were real.
Well, I'm pretty sure I am.
Well, clearly. Does that mean the red pits are actually real?
You watch his eyes glaze over at the mention of them. And he kind of pops back and he goes, "Who let you in here?" Like he has no, like, the way he says it and the look on his face is like
You're up.
he has no idea that you were having a conversation 10 seconds ago.
Oh, I followed the other guys in here. I brought you a flagon of ale there. She kind of like sets down the second one that she brought in for herself, which she hadn't drank.
He kind of looks at you and goes, "Oh, a fan. What brings you to Stipville?"
Well, I mean, I was shocked to meet another Minotaur here, but I'm traveling to try and help the city recover from the entire army being turned to stone.
He looks down and goes, I had heard about that."
Yeah, it was a tragedy for sure.
It was. Anyways, what can I help you with?
I just, wanted to say that was an excellent fight.
Thank you. You see that little bastard around and tell him I want a round 2 whenever.
I definitely will let him know. And, she kind of gets up and heads out.
Alright.
Back to the group, kind of,
Yeah.
with like a semi-1,000-yard stare.
Yeah. When you get back to the group, Elrond is just sitting there happily drinking away.
I bet. She kind of shakes her head a little bit and kind of like claps him on the back and says like, "That was an incredible fight, I gotta say."
He looks over and goes, "Thank you. You did very well in yours too."
I appreciate it. I don't know if it was quite as, I'm trying to think of the right word. I'm trying not to use big words. I don't think it was quite as, quick as yours, or, you know. But, it was a good fight.
Yours was more entertaining, though. Not every day you see magic.
True. Oh my gosh, I didn't even ask. Wait, so how long have you been able to do that?
Not terribly long. One of the nights, I had kind of a dream about the world tree, and I didn't really know what it meant, but it kind of just felt like I was connected with the world tree in a weird way, and I wasn't sure what that meant until, you know, that guy slammed me on the ground, and I, you know, saw red, and it was like feeling the natural energy, and it just kind of exploded out of me. I didn't really have much control over it, to be honest.
Lyra had started taking notes as soon as you started talking. And she just goes, okay, interesting. And, did you eat anything weird that day that you had the drink?
No, not that I can think of. I don't think I've really eaten anything that you all haven't eaten, so... Well, except for Elliot. She kind of looks over at Elliot, referencing his bloody-ass sausages.
I'm a firm believer that the blood sausages provide the energy required for high-level magic, so...
Elrond's gonna raise his hand and goes, I don't know if that's true, but seconded.
I think you all just have a salt problem.
You're probably anemic. I'm sure there's a spell that we have to figure that out, right? Maybe, perhaps you could modify an identify spell.
Yeah.
A medical identify spell.
You'd have to identify iron, but maybe you'd have to enchant the iron first.
Yeah, for some reason I think enchanted iron coursing through my veins might be a bit of a problem, Lyra. It seems like it might be unhealthy.
It depends on what enchantment. Come on, there's plenty of harmless enchantments.
Well, as we know, enchantments prevent several types of chemical bonding, and if our blood is dependent on that chemical bonding, it would kill you, frankly.
Okay, I'm not saying we should try it on a living anything. I'm saying that we could do
you want to go see if the
experiments.
Zomboy has anemia?
No, I want to see if you have a...
Elrond looks at you both and says, I know a blacksmith who said people had metal inside of him all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah, but it's not enchanted metal.
Yeah, I'm saying we could enchant it, though, to figure out if you need more iron in your diet.
Enchanted blood. What a joke.
Look, I'll work on it. Don't worry. We'll figure out if you're anemic or not.
You can test it on the dog.
No, okay, look, we just need like a drop of blood to see if it does anything weird when we enchant it,
That's
you know?
To what?
When Elliot says test it on a dog, Elrond very drunkenly says, God, that's gonna be so much worse when it explodes than the last one.
Oh, what? No! That's terrible! Lyra's gonna be like, we're not testing it on a dog!
We're all that? I don't want you testing on me is really the big idea.
We're not testing it on anything alive. I just need like a little blood sample. Oh my god.
I don't got enough of the damn stuff, alright?
Hey, Lyra.
Uh-huh.
The more you're talking about wanting blood samples, the more excited about that prospect you're getting.
Oh, okay. I just think it's kind of a good idea, you know? Like, what if we could solve problems for people, you know? We could tell them if they were anemic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Why would we do that?
What do you mean? And then they can know to add more iron into their diet.
So you want to start a blood extraction place to tell the people if they're anemic?
Yes.
You're starting to sound
just
like
anemic, that's the only thing. Newson's ordering drinks again.
You know, this place extracts plenty of blood. Looks down into the pit.
You know,
okay,
he's not wrong.
Sterile. It has to be kind of sterile, though, I think. We wouldn't want any contaminants.
Contaminated with what?
Anything! What if that dirt has a lot of iron in it? Then you're totally off.
Well, I mean, you could test the dirt for
you test
iron?
the dirt and you subtract the difference. The Minotaur doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. She's got a point.
She does not. She's like drinking her flagon and just saying things that I love the concept that like Newson tries to participate in technobabble with no frame of reference. She's like, yeah, test the dirt. Drink.
Auron's kind of
Elliot
chuckling.
finds himself very confused when he agrees with you.
Look, I have ideas sometimes. It's fine.
Lyra's just mulling over, testing the dessert. The dirt.
The dirt.
Gathering up a little sample in a test tube.
Alright, so what are you going to do if you do find someone who's anemic? What are you just going to tell them, alright, continue eating what you're eating because you already kind of know because you're eating meat-heavy diet?
No, I'll tell them to get a little piece of iron to put in the bottom of their pot when they cook noodles. and then let enough iron.
Is that how that works?
What if they eat it?
No, then you can't eat just a chunk of iron. Who would try that?
Auron looks at you and kind of points his bottle at you and goes, I don't think that's how that works, but I don't know enough about iron to dispute you.
Well, anyway.
I mean, if all you have to do is put iron in the bottom of your pot when you're cooking, couldn't you simply become not anemic by holding a sword?
I would also like to point out that we eat out of pots made of iron.
Yes.
Is no one anemic?
It's impossible to be anemic as long as you eat and hold a sword.
Sound logic.
Lyra's gonna contemplate the existence of anemic people in this world.
Oh, don't think about it too hard, because I'm not going to. What do you guys want to do next?
Well,
or do we want to wait for that boy Lulin?
Maybe we want to wait for Lulin.
We never really found any, like, magical items for Elliot or anything like that.
True. Elliot, do you want to go magic item shopping?
Well, I did buy something already. I bought the enchanted item. The enchanted amulet that holds one spell and triggers on an event.
Oh, that's right. You bought a custom item. That's right.
Yes.
Forgot about
Yes,
that.
I did.
Okay. So we did manage to
yeah.
We did manage that then.
I'm just dreaming of that 47,000 gold axe that I will never have.
Tragic.
It's a whole lot of fights.
On my, like, what, 5th or 6th drink of the night, I think.
We could head back to the house, see what events turn up, and then...
Yeah, we probably don't want to leave Auron to drink himself into a hole. Or back into the pit.
He looks up at you, and where he's sitting, he has one hand on the bag of like 2,500 coins that he won. And the other hand on the bottle, and he just goes, I'll be fine.
You are going to get yourself robbed. And I know that you're capable, but, like, I don't think anyone's going to replace that money for you.
If I didn't run out of money, why would I have to get in the ring again?
2,500's a lot to run out of.
Exactly.
Not if you know where to spend it.
No.
You gotta go back to the upper district for that.
This is true.
Like,
then you can buy one book.
A really fancy tavern.
Yeah. Should we take Lyra somewhere where she feels more comfortable?
This is true.
Yeah, Lyra is like a little twitchy. She's like done being around people.
He looks at you.
I read my book and I have nothing to hide in now.
He looks at you, Newson, and goes, when we left that one weapon shop, you were thinking about buying something. What was it?
It was an enchanted axe, I think.
Yep.
Pretty sure it was.
Named
Like
Hugh.
a lightly enchanted axe.
Yeah, it was named Hugh. It does critical damage on wooden things.
Yes. Doors will never be a problem for me again with that axe.
Hills are made of stone.
Doors are made of stone?
I said until they're made of stone.
Oh, well, yeah, but then we've got Elliot.
True.
He can do things to the ground.
Elrond's gonna look at you, and he's going to say, "How much did the axe cost?"
Oh, I think it was $350.
If you beat me in an arm wrestle, right now I'll buy it for you.
I mean...
Go, Newson, go, Newson.
Sure, why not?
Alright.
The worst that can happen is I lose, I guess.
So it's gonna be the first person to win 3 strength contests.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll first and tell you what the roll is before you roll.
Okay.
I wish I was a divination wizard.
The first one you have to beat is a 19.
Bruh! Alright, rolling. I'm not gonna waste rage. 18! Oh, that's tragic.
Ooh.
So the very first thing you notice, because remember, Elrond is all of 5'10",
Yeah.
is that when you sit down across from this guy, he is much stronger than you think somebody of his size should be. Like, by magnitudes. And he
I'm impressed.
He kind of like shifts your hand like a half inch, and he goes, and he looks at you and he goes, "Oh, come on, don't go easy on me."
Should I spike this man's drink with moonlight?
Oh my! No, that would make it worse.
No, moon blight, not moonlight. It's the opposite.
Oh, blight. Got it. Do you have some? What? Wait.
Maybe. Anyways, carrying on. That was outside of character.
I don't want to rage, but that would be my way to like it.
Well, he rolled a 7,
like...
so.
Oh my god. Watch me roll worse. Alright, let's see. Oh, no, just kidding. It was a nat 20. So 23.
Whoa.
We'll give you 2 passes for that one.
Woo!
When he says, "Don't go easy on me," you just look at him, and you torque him almost all the way back. He almost loses this arm wrestling competition.
And he's like, "Oh shit, I wasn't taking it seriously."
And when that happens, and it looks like he looks at you, and give me your last roll.
All right. Come on, strength, don't let me down. Oh, it let me down. It's a 2 plus 3. It's 5. Unless this man nat 1.
You watch this man. You watch his eyes definitely flash yellow.
Mm-hmm.
As he just brings it from an almost loss all the way back to center.
Damn.
And he just looks at you and goes, "You got it in you, Minotaur?"
I like to think so.
You have to beat a 15.
Alright, let's see. Oh, yes! I rolled exactly 15 plus 3, so 18.
Nice.
You look at him, and there's a lot of resistance that you're trying to go against, and then suddenly it almost just seems like he gives up. And you tap his hand, and he just goes, "Okay," and he gives you 350 gold for the axe.
Nice.
She takes it and pockets it, and kind of like does like a kind of a hand clap, like a good gesture of like, you really are stronger than you look.
He looks at you and he says, "I get that a lot." I get that a lot.
I mean, I suppose that's to your advantage, isn't it? It did give them 5-1 odds. She kind of nods back to the other two.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of looks, he goes, oh, yeah. I mean, I signed up under a fake name. Well, I guess not a fake name, it's my real name. But it's a name I don't use here. I mean, if I would have put the name I used to fight when I was a kid, it probably would have been 10-1 odds the other way.
Oh.
That guy hits hard though. I
Yeah,
wonder where he learned to fight.
Well, I have a suspicion.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, but
might
be better discussed not here.
We can talk about it on the walk home.
All right.
And he kind of stands up and gets ready to head out.
Lyra's gonna check all her pockets and make sure she still has.
I've got my book. I've got my gold.
Yeah, gold book.
My backup book.
Yeah, the other one.
You guys are good. You have everything.
Okay.
So, as you guys begin heading back up towards the upper levels in Lyra's house, he kind of turns around, he holds out his arms to you, and he goes, so what's the deal? Where's he from?
Are we just going to say we stopped by the blacksmith and got Hugh, or?
You're on your way. That's on,
Okay.
We'll get to that point.
Well, Elnis is a known name in Olfast, but, it's sort of a name buried in legend. It was unclear whether he was actually a real Minotaur or not, but it's not a good legend.
Well, tell it to us.
The Minotaurs and the Gnolls of the Upper Plains have had, to say lightly, a rivalry for centuries.
The Gnolls are the worst type of dog person.
That's accurate. But what's most notable about Elnis is the fact that his horns have been sawed off. That is an incredibly irreverent thing to do, to leave a Minotaur alive with their horns sawed off. It is a sign of blatant disrespect in combat. Our horns are a huge part of our culture.
They're also a huge part of your head.
Yes, they're a huge part of our fighting style as well.
Really throw off your balance.
It definitely could. They're quite, heavy, but the Gnolls are known to take horns from Minotaurs as trophies. That being said, usually it's from dead Minotaurs, not living ones. But the legend goes that there's a place, secret, no Minotaur has ever found it, or no one's ever, as far as we know, called the Red Pits.
Auron scoffs when you say it and says, the pits aren't real.
That's what I thought, until I just met Elnis in person. He's... Well, I mean, you all know that Lulin and I technically come from rival families in Olfast. I believe we mentioned it briefly, but the Bold Speakers are actually a pacifist faction of Minotaurs.
You.
And a lot of that their teachings are kind of centered on the idea that the red pits might be real and encouraging minotaurs not to fight the gnolls because it only leads to more violence. But we always thought it was just, religious speaking, so anything to make their point. And when I spoke with him and I mentioned the red pits, he completely forgot that we were having a conversation. We had a normal conversation. I mentioned the red pits. He kind of went a little hazy and then looked at me as if he hadn't spoken a word to me so far.
Kind of weird to be forgetting something like that so soon. Oh well. Maybe all his coins are
advocate here, but maybe you gave him a concussion.
Yeah, my knee hurts pretty bad. I could have given him a concussion.
I mean, it's definitely a possibility.
Or do you think it was more of a magical effect?
I'm not very good at understanding magic, so I can't say for certain, but it was odd.
Maybe the guy just doesn't have all his coins in his piggy bank.
True.
I mean, if the red
he's probably got a lot of coins in that piggy bank because he makes bank in those fights.
Yeah, and memory is a hell of a thing.
True.
Memory is a hell of a thing. But it was weird, and I mean, like I said, Elmas is a well-known name, and not a name that gets used. It's not like you can run into a lot of Elmases in Minotaur culture holding that kind of significance. It's sort of like naming your kid Olfast. You don't name Minotaur children Olfast.
Could it be some guy pretending to be him? Maybe he got dishonored and they took his horns or something?
Oh, even dishonored minotaurs horns don't get taken by other minotaurs. You have to be killed. It's not like I said, it's not something that's done lightly, and it's largely only done by our enemies. To take a minotaur's horns, it's unfathomable for another minotaur to do that.
Some really screwed up collectors.
Yeah.
But is it possible that that's not actually this Red Pit's illness and it's just some guy pretending to be him?
I mean, I suppose every minotaur or anyone that's lived in the city in modern times would know that name, so it's a distinct possibility. I mean,
and
he is...
But wouldn't he claim to have been in the pits then? You said he didn't even react.
I don't know. If the pits are real and all the rumors about them are true, there's no way somebody came out of there to get their ass beat by a 5'10" house guard from the upper city.
You're not wrong about that. The fact that anyone came out of there at all...
It would take a far more magical creature to take down that.
Or to escape, at least.
He just glares at you, Elliot.
The sass.
Like the long.
It just goes right over Newsom's head.
Does it go over Lyra's though?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question.
Oh, I don't know. Does it? Can I roll something?
Roll intelligence.
Okay. Pretty high, 19.
It does not go over your head.
Interesting. She's not gonna say anything, but interesting.
Elliot's just being a little sass pants.
What I do best, baby.
Be a sassy boy.
I am.
You guys have arrived at the blacksmith.
All right, Newsom's walking in.
Skamos is on the other side, and he looks at you and he goes, "You are back. Did he break sword again?"
Not yet. The last fight he got in, he had to use his fists, not his sword.
I keep telling that boy, I'll get him a really nice set of brass knuckles.
It would probably benefit him, honestly.
He's better with his fists than with a sword.
But I did tell you I'd come back for that axe, so she walks up and sets down the gold.
He pulls the axe out from under the counter and just slides it across to you.
Nice. So I assume
picks it up, and now she has 2 great axes on her back.
Dual wield great axes.
Oh my god.
Is it relatively close to morning now?
It is.
I assume, yeah. I'm going to go to the enchantment shop to pick up my order.
When you get to the enchantment shop and walk in, just as the Dragonborn is finishing up tinkering with it, and he looks at you and goes, "Look at you up bright and early."
Oh yeah. Definitely not the still up. Yeah. Definitely morning.
Anyways, I am almost done with thing. Feel free to sit in waiting room and talk to assistants while I work. And
Very
you
well.
look over, and the kobolds have just stacked books on top of each other in a semblance of chairs. Like, with backs and everything. Like, they have stacked literally hundreds of books.
Many books.
To make full chairs.
Approaching
They're so
thorns
crafty.
or thrones.
And they're just sitting there.
So what do you guys do around here? I sort of roll my eyes as I approach.
Took looks up at you and goes, "We sell thing make fly people fall slower."
Ah,
Hmm.
that's a pretty important one.
Yeah.
How much do those cost?
Too much for you afford, Mr. Fly Guy.
I find this to be acceptable. Carry on.
I mean, you've seen us throw him. He probably needs it.
That's true. Did you all get Derek?
Yeah, Derek's
We
dead.
did.
Oh, yeah.
Using kind of gestures to the teeth and stuff hung from one of her horns, which is now actually on the art. Yay!
Hey.
The kobold looks at the horns and goes, "Ooh, you want trade?"
For the falling thing?
No.
What you offering?
The kobold pulls a little package out of his bag, and he sets it down. And when he lets it out, you see that it's just a bunch of cards with different pictures on them. And he looks at you and go, "Took offer large variety of memory."
Are these your memories or somebody else's memories?
Took own all memories.
I know you own them, but are they yours or are they somebody else's?
Well, hold up. Are we sure that he owns them?
Took's gonna turn around and look at the other 2 kobolds and turn back and just say, "Took does not understand question." Took's memories.
Can I look at the memories, the images on the cards? Are they do they have kobolds in them or do they have other things?
So they're very abstract, blurry images. But it looks like it. There are several of them that have kobolds in them, and several of them that have dragonborn in them.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Pretty
How many are
tempting.
you offering?
Took give 3 memory for 1 tooth.
Deal. She pulls off a good tooth from the thing and puts it down on the table.
Took looks over his little package of memory and carefully selects 3, and then slides them across to you and puts all the cards back in their little pack. And then he takes the dragon tooth and just hands it to another one of the kobolds, who is currently wearing the entire trench coat by themselves. Who just tucks it into a pocket.
So good.
Duke looks up and goes, "Pleasure, do business."
Always a pleasure. What are the 3 cards that I've got now?
Oh, let me
You got pick now.
Oh, I'm just gonna generate 3 new ones really quick.
Ooh.
Nope, that's the wrong thing. There we go.
Excuse moi.
Let's see what the AI does with this one.
Oh yeah, I forgot. The one that you got, Lyra, you broke it and actually like have it as a memory now, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Forgot about that. I guess you can get it re-extracted because it's just like a memory.
I mean, I would assume so, but I don't know.
Then you have to pay for that.
Yeah.
Oh, true. You do have to pay for that.
All right, and then we'll do this one.
I like that the memory trading is now a card game.
True. Trading card game.
You gotta collect them all.
Oh god, well, no. That one's horrifying. Absolutely not.
Collect all the memories.
There was an episode of Stargate that I watched the other day which had a similar premise. Taking out memories and putting new ones in. Pretty good episode.
Ooh.
So excited. We're gonna get to see new memory cards.
Yes.
And the last one.
Yay. Out of character side note, I feel like you should just like generate a shit ton of them.
Yeah.
Some of them relevant and some of them not, and then use that as like a base of You could have like folders with different values, like not valuable, medium valuable, very valuable.
I
mean, we know that Elliot is a high roller now because he's got all the high value memories, but you know.
Yes.
True.
All right. So, and I will send these to you as well, Sky, after.
Okay, cool.
This is memory number 1. See how long it takes to load up. Oh gosh, it's
This
giant.
is a free one for you.
You ought to just upload them as images onto like your actual overlay. It'd probably be faster. Ooh. This looks like a convenience store.
It probably would be faster.
Yeah.
Add image.
It is like way too big for a stream, by the way.
Yeah, I know it's going to be. I'm prepared. And then this is memory 2. Nice little. Cool. They're all on the stream now.
We've got memory 2 here.
Memory 2.
Looks like books.
And then we have memory 3.
Oh, we never properly saw memory 1, so seeing memory 1 would be good.
Okay.
Ooh, kobold running from angry hyena. Uh-oh.
You're not supposed to read the prompts.
Oh, my bad.
Right
Make it so it doesn't give you the prompts.
Yeah, I know I can do that. Shut up.
Okay, just thought I'd let you know, because I care about your sanity.
I'm having a day. Anyways.
A convenience store.
Yes.
A very inconvenient store. It looks like a disaster.
And you can rip those cards at any time to get the memories from them.
Got it. So I've got a convenience store, some kind of bookstore, and getting chased by a dog.
After a while, Elliot, the Dragonborn, calls you over and he goes, "It is done."
Ideal. I think we agreed it was... What?
Did you already pay or no?
I don't remember exactly.
I don't think so.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think, how much did we agree on?
I remember it being like 2 or something, like 200 or something.
I find this acceptable. Gold, please.
Cool. 200. For a move.
He's going to pass you your new trinket.
Ideal. I'm going to just immediately put a spell into it.
What spell?
And I'm just going to put in Featherfall. And the 5 creatures it's going to take effect are the 5 closest beings to me.
Okay.
And it's activated when I fall off of a place high enough to do any damage.
Okay. Oh, that's gonna become entertaining for me.
I know it will.
Especially when we throw you and we don't know that exists.
I can't wait.
So, Elliot, you head back outside, and Alron's looking at the sky, and he goes, "Well, the sun's coming up, which means it's time for us to go to sleep."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Hopefully, Lulin will be doing a bit better.
I think that'll be interesting.
We go back and we tell a beautiful lie about how we definitely did not go to the lower part of the city to...
I mean, how could we? I got new jewelry.
Oh, true.
Very true.
And I only look slightly beat up.
When you guys get back, you go inside and you all go and you get a long rest. I think that's where we're gonna cut it, just so we can pick up with Lulin next time.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
When are we gonna do next time? I guess after the new year?
Probably. I think the 2nd is this first Sunday after the new year. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So we'll plan for that and act accordingly.
Because next weekend, people are busy, and the weekend after that is literally Christmas.
Yep. But we can figure that out.
Well, the 2nd you two will be here, won't you?
Yeah.
Well, that's the one.
I mean, weather abiding. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, weather abiding. 3 out of the 5 in one place.
OMG.
Oh my god. I get to look you in the eyes and eat leaves.
All right. I'm going to find someone to raid on Twitch. But in the meantime, let's thank our wonderful characters. And if they have anything to plug, they can. First off, we have Elliot, played by...
Me, Isaac, and today I'd like to plug the metric system. Far superior, easier to understand. Really, it's how all engineering should be done. Thank you.
And then we have Lyra Dream Shadow, played by
Rosie. When Rosie CS on Twitch, and I would also like to plug the metric system. It is better.
And then, last but not least, we have Newsen, played by...
Rosie.
And then, last but not least, we have Newsen, played by...
Rosie. When Rosie CS on Twitch, and I would also like to plug the metric system. It is better.
And then, last but not least, we have Newsen, played by...
the Sky Tea. I will not be plugging the metric system. Instead, I'm going to plug the Long Night, which is our other good versus evil D&D campaign, which is going to be running tomorrow with Squall, the now one-eyed monk. Pretty exciting. Also, I'll be streaming Stardew Valley later tonight, so, you know.
Yep. As well
I've never heard of this measurement system.
As well with all
Stardew Valley?
As well with all that, reruns for the Duality campaign will be playing tonight starting at 6 o'clock Central.
Heck yeah.
If you need to get caught up on the last episode, both of them were pretty wild.
But, they really were.
But we're gonna raid TTRPG Academy. They are playing The Debtor's Gambit, episode 20, homebrew campaign. Words. But we're gonna toss it right over to them. Until next time, everybody, stay cool, stay in school, and stay techno. We'll catch you then.